Hey guys, what's going on? I'm Adam Carswell and I'm back. Just got done reading How to Get Rich by Felix Dennis last night. I talked about this in my last post and I'm going to share some knowledge with you. Also, how to read a book 10 times faster. Got a video on that in the description. Take a look at it because I got a lot of books that I'm going to be flying through here and I'm going to be sharing all of the knowledge with you, so you essentially don't even have to read it if you don't want to. But the process of reading faster is just, it's great. It's great. So let me break down this book for you. First of all, Felix Dennis, crazy, super successful entrepreneur who did just about anything you could think of, built most of his wealth in the magazine industry, primarily Maxim magazine. That was his biggest brainchild, but he did a lot of other things. Very impressive man with a lot of knowledge to share, which I'm going to now pass on to you. So first of all, one thing to take into consideration when working on becoming rich is realizing that the world's capital, the money going around the world, is predominantly controlled by, as he refers to, the 10-ton elephants in the jungle. It's the big hitters. That's who's got all the money. You know, some people might say that's not fair or whatever. Anyways, one metaphor he uses is that these big elephants will do anything to get rid of a flea. They got an annoying little flea, for example, a brilliant idea that maybe they did not think of, and they want to buy it. That opportunity is there. So you can figure out how you can become a flea for one of these elephants out there. You can make yourself quite the fortune. Quite the fortune. Refuse to let your job define you. I like this one a lot. It's a topic that he talks about, and what that means basically is, especially in Western culture, but you know, and then this question gets answered differently, I would say, around the world, but in America, I know, and probably a lot of other places, somebody asks you, what do you do? And when they say, what do you do? Normally your response is, oh, well, I'm a carpenter, or I am a salesman, or I am a doctor, whatever. And that becomes the definition of who someone is. If you want to become rich, if you're an entrepreneur, you answer this question completely differently. Only you define you. As far as they care, as far as anyone you're talking to, I like the way that Felix Dennis put this. Let me quote this for you. You are an entrepreneur. You are going to be rich, and you don't much care, within the law, how you are going to do it. You just will. You'll just do it. So for me, now that I've heard that, I am a bounty hunter. I'm Django Fett. You can't put a label on me. I am just going to do what I do and get the job done. And I'm gonna get rich. Another great point from this book. And I've actually already put this one into play today. Don't negotiate, dictate. Okay? Because, you know, a lot of people, I know before reading this book, I was like, all right, you know, negotiation, making deals is like pretty much everything in life, which it is. But it doesn't need to be, I think, viewed the way that I used to view it until last night. Dictate. So instead of saying, let's see, let me just pull up his email that I just sent. I will leave the details of this message confidential. However, working on a deal. I'm in the middle. So you could argue that I'm the negotiator. I'm communicating between two sides and I'm bringing the two sides together. And instead of trying to, the best way to put it, do the heavy lifting, I told one side that wants the deal and the other side that wants the deal, I said, hey, one side, you speak directly to this side from this point on. Instead of trying to be like, okay, what do you want? Okay, what do you want? And going back and forth and driving myself crazy, I straight up told them, you do this, you do this, and they're gonna come to a deal and it's gonna work out. And it saved me a ton of time and stress, honestly. I don't have to even think about it now. It's gonna be handled by the two other parties that I'm connecting. So I didn't negotiate, I dictated. Remember that. Miners rarely get rich. If they're lucky or unlucky, they leave a legend, and that's about it. And I really like this one, and I think what Felix Dennis is trying to say to us as the readers in this phrase is that if you're an employee, that's what he's referring to as a minor, because he was basically an employee for another company. If you're an employee of a company and you kill your numbers, you win awards, you shine bright, you crush sales, great. At the end of the day, yeah, you might make some money for yourself, but who are you really making it for? You're making it for the company. You're making money for the company, and at the end, 10, 15 years from now, the only thing that's going to be left of you in that realm could be a legend. That's basically what he's saying. He's like, you're busting your butt for what? So that way you can be remembered as a legend. Is that it? Why not get rich instead of working for someone else? That's his point on that one. Data is overrated. So if something works, it works. If you believe in it, stick with it instead of shifting gears every time you have one or two failures, because that's really what throws people off in this life, is maybe they try something new, it doesn't work right away, and they don't give up, but they find something else new to do, and that just continues to lead them down that same path. If you find something, you think it works, stick with it. And what the data is overrated part is, Felix Dennis references how addicted our society has become to spreadsheets, for example, that project up, down numbers, so on and so forth. 20, 30, 50, 100 years ago, they didn't have analytics and projections like that. And the people that were successful were still successful, and the people that weren't successful were still unsuccessful. So don't get caught up in like the price change of something if it swings from one day to the next. Don't let that control you. Fear is fed by fear, and all fears pass. Peer into fear's abyss and jump and know. Quote. That's a quote right there. And that was probably, I don't know if it was my favorite quote from that book, but very good. You know, and I can say even recently for myself, I went into a new life endeavor that, quite frankly, I did not have a lot of experience in. And I said, I don't care, I'm tired of doing what I've been doing, which is working for someone else for the past 2 years. I'm jumping, jump. And now I know. Jump and know, as the quote says. And I love it. It's great. It's beautiful. I get to do things like this, like post videos to help you get smarter and help me retrain my memory. It's great. It's beautiful. I love it. Desire is not enough. Be compulsive. Now, after I read this, I had to Google, look up what compulsive meant, because it's always kind of, at least in my head, been a little bit of a negative word. But when you look at it, compulsive basically means forcing yourself to act a certain way. So if it's, for example, my heart's, I'm going to use myself as an example. So if it's my desire to impact you, to change your life, or to think bigger or dream bigger, that's great. If I'm, just sitting here thinking about it and hoping that it happens. But the fact, I would say I'm being compulsive right now. I'm making this video on the fly for the most part. And I've just said, you know what, I'm just gonna press record and we're just gonna do it. That's what we're doing. So be compulsive along with your desires. You will get rich. and actually, this is my own personal observation. Take the idea of getting rich being a bad thing out of your head. I think that is probably one of the worst things you could do to yourself, is to think and to also look at people who you know are wealthy and to think negatively or think that they got it in a dirty way. I mean, why? I think the desire to get rich is perfectly reasonable, and you're kind of not smart if you don't chase that desire, because the more you have, the way I see it, the more I have, the more I can give to you and to the world to make it a better place. At the end of the day, yes, obviously it's not staying with me, but it can impact many lives, the wealth that I build. if I go get it now. So again, this is my compulsive video to you. Let's continue. Cut loose from negative influences. Never give in and stay the course. I think that was like the last line of the book, but let me just reread it to you and just think about that for a second. Cut loose from negative influences. Never give in and stay the course. Okay? We all get excited from time to time about great ideas, big ideas. Learn to overlook the hype of a new big idea and focus on the execution. It could actually be a very, I won't say stupid, but maybe unoriginal or not exciting idea. But if the passion to execute is there, that's where the real success lies. So focus not on the great idea, but focus on great execution. Own it. Hold every percentage point you can. I did an interview with an investor. You can go look it up, Carlos De Silva. He's based out of Toronto, Canada. Very successful guy. Got some investments going on in Northeast Brazil and other places, but that's like his baby. It's the Northeastern Brazil. Anyways, one of the first things he says in that interview is learn to manage your own investments. Learn to manage your own money. The more you own, the more you learn. The more you learn, the more you can own. And when you own your own life, then you really have control and you can really build that success and that wealth that will, that comes hand in hand with you chasing that dream of yours. Hire talent that is smarter than you and then delegate. And after that process has completed and you have made your money, share it. Hire talent smarter than you, delegate, and then share. Sell before you need to, or when you get bored of what you're doing. It's a perfect way to empty your mind and start from scratch. Felix Dennis's advice. Now, if I actually stand corrected, I believe this is one of the final points of the book, if not the last line. Three things. Fear nothing and no one. Fear nothing and no one. 2, get rich. 3, remember to give it all away. Fear nothing and no one. Get rich. Give it all away. Weave new baskets instead of trying to defend the old ones. So I'm just looking in here. I see I'm starting to sweat. Just getting into this. Weave new baskets instead of trying to defend the old ones. Learn to adapt, evolve, or die. Okay, so the internet, for example, is getting bigger and bigger every day. Instead of trying to do things however you used to do them, get in touch with whatever's new, whatever's buzzing, whatever's trending, and work with it, and start to work with it so that way you can stay ahead of the curve instead of trying to defend your old baskets. Never fall through on a bargain. Fulfill it whether it is with a unjust or a just man. The covenant holds for both. Okay? So it doesn't matter how, you enter into a deal, find out halfway through the deal, whoever you're working with is not a good person to work with. Does not matter. Fulfill what you have said you will do, and then after the closing of the deal, of the contract, transaction, negotiation, from that point on, then you make your next move. But always fulfill your promise. Fulfill the covenant. Continuing on about negotiation. Say little when negotiating. Silence is golden. Just like that. Phone's ringing. Hold on. Hello, this is Adam.
Hello, Adam. Matthew here with...
In the beginning, there was heaven and there was earth. No, I'm just kidding. In the beginning, okay, and this is referring to when you decide that you want to make the jump, that you want to make the move, that'll take you to the next level, that'll put you in control of your life, when you make the decision that you want to do what you want to do, and in the best way to put it, when you decide that you want to get rich, remember this. In the beginning, there very well could be the gentle siren of voices of friends, parents, employers, of reasonable, sensible people, torn between the concern for your welfare and the secret fear that you might succeed. End quote. In the beginning, there very well could be the gentle siren, the gentle siren voices of friends, parents, employers, of reasonable, sensible people torn between the concern for your welfare and the secret fear that you might succeed. Remember that. Next point. The original creation. The original is not always the greatest. To be rich, watch your rivals closely and never be ashamed to emulate a winning strategy. I've heard this before and I couldn't agree more. I will even tell you right now, one phrase that I love to use, take it to the next level. I mean, pretty obvious, I think, that I did not come up with that. All right, I heard it somewhere else and I thought it was great. And I've been rocking it ever since. That's a small example. But just remember, the original is not always the greatest. To be rich, watch your rivals closely and never be ashamed to emulate a winning strategy. Remember that few of us are any good at detailed negotiation. That includes your rival, by the way. Okay? So, you may not be a good negotiator, but neither are most of us, including whoever you are negotiating with. I've got this one underlined all the way through. I think this is probably one of the best quotes from the book. And again, it's a phrase that I think we've all heard many times, but think about it. Think about it. Your first thought is your best thought. Your first thought is your best thought. If you have an idea speed through your head and you go, oh wow, that'd be cool. If you wait on it, for example, if you just don't act on it, I'll even admit this happens to me on a daily basis, and I'm sure many other people out there. Thankfully, I'm able to react on a lot of them, but sometimes a good idea will fly through my head, and I will wait and think about it, and then 24 hours later, I'll be like, nah. But who knows? I mean, your best thought, your first thought is your best thought. Remember that. I'm going to remember that for myself as best as I can every day. Ooh, I keep acting as if like these are surprises to me that all of these tidbits are good. Every single one is good. So here we go. Next. Thinking big. That is the secret. But think big and act small. What this means, you hit your first few home runs, maybe you're rookie of the year, have a great season of whatever you're aiming to achieve in your life. You're doing good because you're thinking big, but are you acting small? You make $1 million. You're going to spend $500,000 right away. That's a lot of successful people's shortcoming. And Felix Dennis's #1 red flag to anyone who wants to get rich. Think big, act small. And he goes on to say, once you make your first 50 million, then you can act big. But for the beginning, act small. That's the secret. From a financial standpoint, team spirit is for losers. I know this one's gonna hurt a lot of people out there. It hurt me at first, honestly, but think about it. From a financial standpoint, team spirit is for losers. It is the methodology employers use to shackle employees to their desks without having to pay them much. Okay, I could see, how that makes sense. Give me an example. Okay, example. If your colleague inherits $10 million tomorrow, do you really think he's gonna come back in or come back to work, wherever it is, the next day or the next few days or the next week to check up and make sure team spirit is good, to make sure the morale is up, that, yeah, you know, we're go team, we're kicking butt. Yeah, no, come on. The guy just inherited $10 million. See, he's done with that life, okay? So from a financial standpoint, team spirit is for losers. Employers use it to shackle their employees to their desk. People in poor health usually find it difficult, no matter how clever they are, to master the stamina that becoming rich demands. Are you young? Are you penniless? Are you inexperienced? That is the perfect place to be to get rich. You have nothing to lose, okay? Felix Dennis has been there himself, because he was young, he was penniless, and he was inexperienced. But that's the perfect position to be in to get rich. You've got nothing to lose. Never trust conventional wisdom. Conventional wisdom daunts initiative, okay? There's a lot of people, a lot of very wise people out there who have gotten to where they've gotten because they have followed some very good conventional wisdom. But oftentimes what happens is the people that have gotten there that way, through their strategy, through what they know, through that wisdom that they have, believe that that is the only way for you to do the same thing. Maybe because they haven't experienced it the way that you plan on doing so. So never fully trust conventional wisdom is what Felix Dennis is trying to say, because it can really hinder that first idea. For example, a partnership is not a marriage, and that is the beauty of it. You have someone to fall back on, but at the end of the day, you can walk away. Put yourself in situations, in partnership situations. If you can partner with someone, an idea, in a business, whatever it is, great. Rock it, build together, but just remember, it's not a marriage. You're not legally bound to this person for the rest of your life. And at any point in time, if you don't like what's going on, or if you want to change up directions, that's the beauty of it. That's why it's a partnership. You can leave, and hopefully you can still be friends. This is the pyramid to success. If you read it in the book, I believe Felix Dennis calls it the upside down pyramid to success, because the way he has it structured, in this case, either Google it or read the book. It's the upside down pyramid to success, but it's got 6 steps. Here they are. 1, commit or don't commit. No half measures. Either make up your mind that you're going to do something, or make up your mind that you're not going to do something. Commit, don't commit. No half measures. 2, cut loose negative influences. We already talked about this. All negative influences, out the door. You know what they are, get rid of them. 3, choose the right mountain. Take a look at your opportunities. Which one do you want to capitalize on? Pick it, focus, go for it. 4, fear nothing. 5, start now, right now. 6, go. Do it. Go, 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 go. Start right now. And that's it. That is How to Get Rich by Felix Dennis in a nutshell. I hope you enjoyed my analysis of this book. If you have read it before, please comment and let me know what you think. Tell me if you think I've done a good job of explaining it, if I left something out. If you'd like to know more, let me know, and I am all ears and all eyes and want to help you grow, and will continue to produce this kind of content. Thanks. Have a great day.